Now, a record number of independent candidates are expected to stand in the forthcoming general election. Anger over MPs' expenses is prompting new people to put themselves forward in the hope that voters will turn to something different. So, if you have a £500 deposit, you're over 18 and a British or Commonwealth citizen, there is still time. That is, if you don't mind a hole in your pocket as well as your shoes. Andrew Sinclair reports.
Is there enough stuff going on for young people?
If you're serious about becoming an MP, you need to meet as many people as possible. Today, one of the PPCs for Luton South is visiting a youth media project.
What we've picked up on is one of the problems are the youth centres tend to close around 7 o'clock.
Right.
Joe Hall isn't representing a political party. In fact, he's never been actively involved in politics before now. He's decided to stand as an independent candidate.
It's not about me, it's about local people and what they want. And what they're saying to me on the doorstep time and again is actually we don't want any of the parties, we don't want the vested interest, we want someone who is just a genuine person.
So what are you thinking about doing then?
His campaign office is a room at his parents' house. Angela, a former church worker with an interest in politics, is one of a dozen or so volunteers who are lending a hand. Mr. Hall gave up his job with a charity to concentrate on his campaign. He's also put most of his savings into running it.
You're completely at a disadvantage in terms of the resources you have. I don't have a big passing machine in London or a wealthy donor who's not paying UK tax who's funding me. But I'm a complete advantage in the sense that I can actually think about what it is I care about and I believe in and what I think will work for the people of Luton.
Luton, of course, was one of the places at the centre of the MP's expenses scandal. Several independents intend to stand here. A poll last year found that 63% of people would consider voting for an independent, but we struggled to find anyone who would.
I don't think they stand much chance of getting elected, so is it a wasted vote? That's what I would think.
These three parties, they're doing all right. It should be competition and they're doing work all right. There's no need of independence.
It may be safe to go with what you know.
I'd consider it as long as, like I say, as long as they're going to do what they say they'll do.
I think independents are going to be more important than in any other election in my life, which is not to say that a great number of them are going to be elected, but some will be, and others are going to affect the result quite drastically.
There is now a national body which encourages people to stand as independents. On Friday, it endorsed 3 candidates in our region. More will follow once they've been properly checked out.
At the last election, there were more independent candidates than at any time since the 1880s. There is a trend where people are saying, maybe we need to go back, and if there's a better way, maybe we can look at what happened in the past. And when you look back in the past, you see that people tended to vote more for the person rather than the party.
It seems there's a mistrust of the 3 parties, and I think the public have switched on to the need to have somebody that is not tied into any of those parties. So
Tony Clarke has been on both sides of the fence. Labour MP for Northampton for 8 years. He's now a local independent councillor.
the time for the parties is up. You know, I think if you look at it sensibly and say that 98-99% of us are not members of any political party, and over 2/3 are not strong supporters of any political party, then perhaps it's time people will look for a different reason to put their cross against a name other than being red, blue or yellow.
Hello my love, you okay? Tony Clarke, local independent councillor.
And soon he will start campaigning to become an independent MP. Independent candidates are already making their mark. Across the country there are 2,000 local councillors, 3 directly elected mayors, and in the present House of Commons there are 10 MPs who describe themselves as being independent, although only 2 of those were actually elected as independents. The rest, like the Essex MP Bob Spink, became independent once they're already in the House. The harsh reality is that it's almost impossible to get elected as an independent MP, but that won't stop dozens of candidates across the region from trying to make their mark. They correctly point out that the public mood has changed considerably. Perhaps, they say, this time things will be different.